In this video, I'm going to talk to you about why so many agents in insurance in general fail and what you can do about it if you're a relatively new agent and how you can avoid a lot of these pitfalls.
This video is brought to you by none other than Hire Heroes, you guys. Hire Heroes is your one-stop shop when it comes to virtual staffing and making sure that you have qualified talent with your business. One thing that I love about Hire Heroes, you guys, is they've actually gone through the process already of vetting and making sure that your staff member is well trained to best fit your needs. Whether you need help with social media work, posting things on your accounts, responding to people that send messages to your social media accounts, whether you need help with data entry or a multitude of other things that they're qualified to do, Hire Heroes has got you covered. If you're having trouble finding quality talent and number two, affording to be able to run payroll for that talent, Hire Heroes has got you covered with an affordable alternative to have a virtual assistant working for your business. There's a link down in the description of this video to where you can learn more about getting your own VA through Hire Heroes. I certainly recommend it. They're what we use in our business for all of our virtual assistant needs, and you will want to make sure that you check them out today.
So why do you think it is that so many agents fail? Some people say 90% of agents are out of the business in the first 2 to 3 years. Some pay 92%, some say 94%. I've even seen a poll or a study that said it could be as much as 95%, meaning that depending on your metric, you're looking at probably somewhere between 5 to 10% last longer than a 2 to 3 year time span, meaning the turnover rate is huge. Why is this? Well, I have some of my own thoughts and my own theories as somebody that's worked with thousands of agents over the course of my career, as somebody that's a mentor to many, many people across the industry. And I have a lot of encounters with a lot of different agents in a lot of different situations. I find that there's typically two categories you can put every story in terms of why somebody fails. The first category that you can put somebody in is their upline did them dirty. Their FMO did them dirty. I'm going to talk about this in detail. The other category you can put people in is it's their fault. And I think you can put pretty much everybody in two boxes. Now, for me, what I personally see from the privileged, I would say, position that I am in at this point in my career, which one happens more often? I would say overwhelmingly category number two is going to be more often than category number one. Okay, so let's dive in and kind of dissect these a little bit. So category one, which entails your FMO did you dirty. Maybe you're new to the business. Maybe you were someone that just got your insurance license and somebody contracted you as an LOA, didn't tell you that you were an LOA. They promised you free leads if you give up, I don't know, 80% of your commission or something like that. And the leads that they're giving you are $1, $2, maybe $3 age leads. They're just giving you crappy leads. Like, there's a lot of shady, dirty things that happens in our industry. And there's a lot of shady, dirty organizations. Make no mistake. Maybe you got involved to a multi-level marketing insurance business. There's a lot of those around. Particularly, you'll find them in the life insurance space the most, but they are in every single line of insurance, and usually they're basically insurance cults, for lack of a better word. You have usually incredibly low commission. On the life insurance side, if you're selling final expense, you're typically looking at 110, 115% street level for a lot of insurance companies and a lot of carriers on your first year commission, and obviously a much lower percentage in the second, third, fourth, fifth year, etc. But these multi-level marketing companies might start you at 30%, 40%, 50% on the same products that you could go out anywhere and get 110, 115. And what are you gaining for all of that commission that you're losing? Maybe some people would get a salary in like an LOA position or a captive position, and they know that's what they're getting into, and that might be worth it for them. That might be actually beneficial for them. It's stability. They still get commission. No, none of that. They're getting the culture of the MLM business. They're getting, the the hype and this, almost like deity-like worship of the organization, right? They drink the Kool-Aid, but they're getting nothing else. They're taught to recruit instead of sell, which for a new agent is poison in our industry. They're taught to build teams instead of build clientele. Again, poison in this industry. So when you find yourself in that situation, you can certainly say that there's plenty of situations out there to where the upline, the FMO, did somebody so dirty, it was their first experience ever into the insurance space, and it was just too much for them to overcome. I've seen a lot of situations like that over the years. It crippled them financially, potentially, maybe even emotionally and mentally, to where they're just turned off so much to the industry that they don't want to continue forward any longer. That's category one. Now let's talk about category two, because I believe I see personally more cases in category two than category one. I would like to say that a majority of uplines and FMOs are probably good people in our industry. Majority. We all compete with each other. We all are trying to provide the best value proposition, but a lot of them are good people. Not all, but a lot are good people, right? And so when an agent is bouncing around, let's say there's 3 good people I know in the industry that I know do great jobs for their agents. They provide great training, great support, everything like that. And there's an agent that bounces around to all 3 of them, and then they come to us. What is the first thing I'm going to wonder? What's wrong with this person? Because they went to 3 great places, bounced from one to the other, blamed them all for their failures, and then moved on to my organization. Do I feel like they're going to have much of a different experience with me? Now, do I think that we are the best value proposition right now in the industry? Yes, I certainly do believe that. I think we provide so much. But at the same time, there are certain people in this industry that carry toxic characteristics with them everywhere they go that will cause them to fail no matter who you're with. The first thing that they might carry is disgusting entitlement. Disgusting entitlement. I have worked with groups recently, actually for years now, but I have had agents that come to me and they will ask for crazy things. I've had folks ask me for top level contracts that maybe they didn't deserve. They've never written a policy in the independent world. I've had people ask me for a salary to cushion their transition into being an agent when they've never done a policy for us or anything like that. But they don't want to be LOA. They want to own their business. They want, all the commission. They want everything. And then on top of that, they want a salary. There's just a sense of entitlement that happens with a lot of these agents that fail. And don't trust me when I say this, typically most of the agents that I see that are entitled, they go around and they ask for the moon from every single group and they just turn people off. Understand that when you work with an FMO, for it to be a successful partnership, it has to be a mutually beneficial relationship. Meaning, if you're going to ask for the moon, you better be pretty damn valuable. Because if you're not and you're just some nobody and you're asking for the moon, you're going to come across arrogant, you're going to come across needy, you're going to come across entitled, and you're going to come across as a big headache and nobody wants a headache. There's people I've seen that take this approach when they first get their license. They shop around and they're asking for the moon, crazy shit, from lots of different organizations, and they just kind of end up blacklisted because top line organizations and mentors, they talk to each other. We talk to each other. And so it just kind of, it gets into a place where the word spreads like this person's going to be a nightmare. This person's going to be a headache. Might be a good idea to steer clear of that person. And it's nothing personal, but in business, when you partner with an FMO or an IMO, you want to be seen as a mutually beneficial partner for them. They want to know that the relationship is going to be fruitful for you and for them, right? It shouldn't be where they take everything from you, but you take everything from them. Everybody should be benefiting, right? If I'm giving an agent independent contracts and I'm paying them a commission and we're paying them a salary, we make no money. We actually lose money. Like, doesn't matter how many policies they write. There's no way that we could ever make any kind of profit from working with them and all the time and resources and investment that we put into that person. So entitlement is horrible. And it comes across selfish. It comes across greedy. It comes across delusional. And you don't want to be that person. Understand that what you should ask for in an FMO is transparency, good training, support, fair contracts based on where you're at, full commission. Like, if you're going to be independent, that you're not having your commissions paid to you from the FMO, because usually if that's the case, you are LOA, like things like that. And of course, incentives and things like that. Just support, real support. But they're not supposed to build your business for you. They're not. That not everyone is going to just, build your business for you while you lie on the couch. You got to do something. Otherwise, you have no value to anyone that you might partner with, okay? So that's the first thing. The second thing is the lack of coachability some people have. If you have trouble being teachable or coachable, it's going to make things hard no matter where you go. It doesn't matter where you go. If you're not willing to be coached, you cannot learn and you cannot do better. There's so many people I've worked with over the years that have come to me and they've worked with other organizations or they bounced around a little bit. And I hear people, that just cling to things they learned at a past organization or something like that. They won't let it go. And a lot of times it is some of the worst ways to do business. Maybe not even from a compliance standpoint, but sometimes it's a compliance standpoint, but other times it's just from an effectiveness standpoint. It's like, okay, I don't know where you learned that, but that's bullshit. That's not going to work. Don't do that. And they just can't let it go. What I commonly say to people in this circumstance is, if it worked so well before, would you be here or would you still be there? If it worked so well before, why aren't you still there? Why didn't it work out there? And that's a powerful, true, and kind of in your face statement, but it's something that some people need to hear. You have to be coachable. You have to learn to put your ego to the side. Kendrick Lamar said, sit down and be humble. Perfectly said. It's funny, like there's so many agents that I've talked to over the years that where, when we work with them, I'll be teaching them how to do something. They're like, oh yeah, when I was here, we did it this way. And the first thing that goes through my mind is like, am I teaching you or are you teaching me? And it's usually somebody that has, that obviously has no business teaching me. I've been in the business a long time. I have a partnership with Integrity. I have a multi-million-dollar organization, right? Like I've been very successful, been top producer, influential, mentor, all these things. And it's not to say anybody can't get there, but when you're brand new, it's not the time to, be a know-it-all or to try to, tell everyone else, oh, I know how to do this. Sometimes it's good to be humble, be coachable, and just be quiet and listen. Listen to those that have more experience, more knowledge, more expertise than you do. Be teachable, be humble, be coachable, be a sponge. And that will go a long way for you. Your time may come where you can teach others, where you have some credentials, you have a reason to teach others. There's too many people in our industry that have never built an actual clientele that are trying to teach people how to build a clientele. Disgusting to me, sickening. That's another reason why an agent might fail is they glorify people that have never built a clientele. If someone has never built a clientele, they are more useless to you than any other person. I promise. And a lot of what they're probably teaching you is not going to be right. It's not going to be the best way. They just don't know. You can't teach something you've never done. Why is this such a hard concept for people to grasp? I don't know, but it is true. You want to work with someone who's done what you want to do. So if your goal is to get 1,000 clients and the person you're contracting with has never written 100 clients, how can they help you with that? They can't, right? And so this is something that needs to be talked about as well. So there's a lot of reasons why agents fail, right? Entitlement, they turn people off. Nobody wants to work with them. They're just kind of be seen as a pain in the ass. It's number one. Number two, they get seen as uncoachable, unwilling to learn, stubborn. That's a problem. And then in addition to that, they pick the wrong mentor. They picked the wrong upline, which that's probably your fault as well, because you have so many access to so many different resources and individuals. There's a lot of people out there that are teaching the right things, that have actually built real businesses and real clienteles, and they've been an agent successfully. I think some of the best mentors are people that have been agents successfully at some point in their career. So the last thing I'm going to say about this in terms of what agents do to kind of ruin their own careers is they get into the business for the wrong reasons. They get into the business thinking that it's a side hustle. They get into the business feeling like they can work 2 days a week for 2 hours a day. And it's like Uber. They can just turn it on, turn it off. The insurance business is not a side hustle. You can clip this and post it any social media platform you want to and have it quoted by me. The insurance business is not a side hustle. It is a career, and it will demand the attention of a career. Now, does it mean that you can't start part-time and maybe if you have a full-time job, you have bills to pay? No, that's certainly the case. But when I started, I was putting 30, 40, 50 hours a week, depending on the week and what I could do, into my business, and I was working a job 20, 30 hours a week at the same time. I was working 7 days a week, 80, 90 hours a week to make it work. I was never cheating the business. I was always putting the time in. And after doing that for 5 or 6 months, I was able to walk away from the job and go completely full time and ham on the business. So some people just don't put the work in. There is certainly an element of laziness. I think anytime you look at a performance-based industry, you see kind of similar statistics in direct sales, in door-to-door sales, in real estate sales. There's a super high turnover rate and a lot of failure. And I think it's just because not everybody's meant to work for themselves. Not everybody's meant to be self-employed. Not everybody's meant to be an entrepreneur. So there's certainly an element of that as well. Anyway, guys, if you agree with me, I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. Even if you think I missed something, I'd love to kind of have a dialogue with you about it. Comment your thoughts down below on this video. Make sure to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. If this video was helpful, you feel like it's valuable, you can help more agents that might need to hear this information find it easier by smashing the like button. It's going to help YouTube show it to more people. Subscribe for more videos. We put out weekly videos to help you grow your business in a multitude of different ways. High level, real value, and no fluff. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Appreciate your time. And if you made it this far in the video, you are a rock star. And here's to your success and your abundance. We'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.